didn't enclose that, it went unscathed. Just sand went right through it. Yeah, so I'm not so sure that I should have built a garage.
Which I didn't see is maybe they'll bring it up as what they're supposed to like look like.
But the flood insurance there got to the point where, you know, I was paying $25,000 a year for $250,000. So I looked at it like how many years I'd already been paying for it. And then I thought,
We all set,
wait a
Mr. Chairman?
minute, I could self-insure that.
Yes. Ready?
Yes, sir. I think
I
we
was
are.
looking at that clock up there that was.
Yeah, when that goes,
Which
TV
one's
goes
red?
on, you're good.
Okay, so it's 9. Good morning, everyone. Call this hearing to order. The proposed is a variance, I believe, by the city for kiosk out on the municipal pier. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
And so we'll start with the staff from the city present.
If you could start with that.
Anyone have a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting?
I wasn't here.
Yeah, you don't have to,
Second.
you don't have to have been here to move or to approve those minutes.
Yeah, I approve.
We have a motion and a second.
Motion and a second.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, you can move on to your
Okay.
variance. Thank you, sir.
So, Kevin, you want to start your presentation?
Yeah, I don't really have a presentation. This is part of the marina reconstruction. If anybody's been down that way lately, you can see it's been, it's well underway. And this is one of the components of that. All of the boat operators down there have like little office kiosks that they sell tickets out of and manage their tours. And it's below the base flood elevation. So you all have been around here long enough to know that below base flood elevation is prohibited. And so they are asking, they being the marina and the city engineer's office who is doing the project, to get a variance for that. And they have a proposal to remove these kiosks. And they have the means and the staff and the equipment to do that. And so our office, I have no objection to it. And so I didn't prepare anything to show, but the city does. And they can show you what these look like and how they're gonna take care of it when need be. And when we look at the construction requirements in a flood zone, the whole intent is to minimize damage and minimize the insurance claims. It's all part of the National Flood Insurance Program. And when you see that they are going to forklift these and truck them out of the way to a high ground, that intent is met. They're somewhat temporary, but they'll be there for the most part all the time. They're quick connect on electric, and they're connected with fasteners that can be undone. And so when the storm event would occur, in would come the forklifts, flatbed trucks, and they would haul them out of there. So we have no objection to it, and so I think we'll just go on and see their presentation and see what it's all about.
Okay.
So if Tanner, you want to come up and introduce yourself and show your slides.
Good morning, Council. I'm Tanner Hamzawi with the City of Clearwater for the Engineering Department. I just wanted to recap a little bit about what Kevin said with a brief slideshow here.
Excuse me, what was your name again?
Tanner Hamzawi. Thank you. Yeah, so we're here to present on the City of Clearwater Marina rehabilitation of the temporary kiosk. And just wanted to briefly describe. So this is a variance request on behalf of the City of Clearwater Marine and Aviation and the Public Works Department to request a variance for the proposed new ticket sales kiosk. This installation is for the variance of below the design flood elevation, and the flood protection will be done by the removal under the City of Clearwater's emergency plan. These temporary kiosks will be comparable size and scale to the existing, and no changes will be from the use of the existing to the proposed. These kiosks will have improved resilience in the event of a storm, and it's ideal for tidal changes or extreme wind events, as we experienced in the past. This is a proposed site plan overview of where the placement of the kiosk will be. There will be 12 locations, 10 on the west side, 2 on the east side. There is a typical floor plan of each kiosk, and then there's a typical elevation view of the kiosk presented. This is just a enlarged site plan of the overview of the temporary kiosk. Like I said, there's 10 on the west end and the remaining 2 on the east end over here. This is for the temporary kiosk. This just shows that it's in accordance with the Florida Building Code, that they withstand the wind speeds present in the marina. From here, I'm gonna leave it to Mike McDonald, Director of Marine and Aviation, to briefly describe the evacuation plan present. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Mike McDonald, Marine and Aviation Director. As part of the Clearwater Beach Marina redevelopment, the city has adopted Policy 2001 Emergency Kiosk Removal, which ensures the safe removal and relocation of all ticket sales kiosks during storm, hurricane, or flood events. This policy activates whenever the EOC declares a storm condition and when directed by the Marine and Aviation Director or Division Manager. Once triggered, staff and contractors follow a detailed pre-established process to disconnect power and communication lines, secure and document each kiosk for FEMA or insurance purposes, and relocate the kiosk to designated safe locations such as the future Beach Marina parking garage, the downtown parking garage, or the Clearwater Executive Airport. After the all clear is issued by the EOC, kiosks are inspected, returned, and any damage is documented for FEMA reimbursement. The strategic objectives are to protect city assets, maintain rapid operational recovery, and ensure compliance with FEMA and city emergency protocols. From a floodplain standpoint, the kiosks are movable, designed with quick disconnect power and anchoring systems, and have no permanent attachments, making them compliant with the intent of Chapter 47 flood regulations. The city's approach eliminates flood risk entirely since the kiosk will not be present during a flooding event. In short, this policy provides both resiliency and operational continuity, ensuring charter businesses can operate safely year-round while aligning with FEMA, FBC, and city floodplain standards. Thank you.
Anyone
And
have any,
that concludes our presentation.
anyone, questions?
I was just curious of the construction of those. Are they prefab?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
The enlarged plane looked like it had like concrete block. I didn't know how that was.
Yeah, that was just siding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, no, I think most of my questions have been answered.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my question too, looking at your PowerPoint. Go back to the slide that was proposed temporary kiosk, if you could. Is that what you're talking about too?
Yeah, the plan showed some CMU block there. I just
Yeah.
wasn't sure. I understand the intent, I guess I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm
what the
just,
actual-
that's my question. I'm curious.
Oh, can
These
you-
aren't the actual,
No, these are not the actual kiosks.
Okay.
okay.
So-
Because this kiosk is 20, plus or minus 25 feet long. My next question was, how are you going to get that on a forklift and on a truck?
There's actually, if you, can y'all see the slide?
No,
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
it's up there. Up there.
There it goes.
There he
There we
goes.
go.
Okay. So actually, each one of these squares, there's going to be 2 kiosks. So there's going to be 24 total.
Okay, so it's not going to match the picture that's on there.
Right. Yeah, no, this picture is wrong. It's, this is just an example of what the kiosks look like, the size-wise, but those aren't the exact kiosks that are
Who
going to be.
manufactures them?
I'm sorry?
Who manufactures them?
What was, do you remember the name, Kelly? Yeah, it's like Marsden Manufacturing.
So it's like a manufactured
Correct.
home
Yeah.
type of thing?
It's,
Well, they manufacture kiosks.
Well, that's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
it's, let's go one more, 2 more slides
Back?
forward. Towards the end of the document.
Yeah.
There. So that says it's Modern Fabrications, is that what that is?
Marsden?
M-A-R-D-A-N, Mardan
Yeah,
Fabrications.
yeah.
The model number on here, is this just an example for the,
This might be an example because, you know, they get these permitted by the state of Florida before they send them out. So I don't know if this is the exact permit for the kiosk that we chose, or if this is just an example.
well, I was curious, and I asked the question because the model number doesn't appear on their website.
Okay, then it's probably an example, or it's an older kiosk that they no longer
Because most of the
produce.
ones they had are on there are like for parking, kiosk.
Correct.
Ticket
Yep,
kiosk, and they're aluminum manufactured.
yep, correct.
It's,
And
and they're on a skid.
I'm pretty, they're 10 by 9 is what they are, but I'll get the exact measurements and I can get that back over to Kevin, and Kevin can fill you in, 'cause,
Okay, because like I said, I was just curious how you're gonna get a 25-foot long kiosk.
yeah, no,
On a
it's,
forklift.
they're not 25 feet long. Now, the space, you know, there's gonna be 2 kiosks per slab, 1 for each business. So,
This is from the submittal from the kiosk.
what does that mean?
That's what they submitted for.
Yeah, so this is from their submittal
Okay,
that they actually submitted for the.
Yeah, their website has a big to-do about hurricane, and it's designed to be in this type of environment, and it's portable. But I was having trouble getting it, the
Yeah,
pictures on the
sometimes
website to match up with the pictures here that matched up with the drawing.
Yeah, sometimes with the Florida Building Code approvals on their NOAs, they just have one model number there, but it encompasses other models as well. So when you have a stamp here, it might say one model or approval, but it also encompasses other models as
Okay,
well.
so just so the board's clear that these drawings are just examples, it's not the exact,
Well, you said that
Thing
they're
is gonna
10
be
by
the-
9. You said each one is 10 by 9, but there's 2 attached to one another?
they're not attached.
They're not attached,
They're
so
not attached.
they're still, in regards to what we're saying is that when they go to get on a flatbed and they're picked up, they're picking up a 10 by 9.
Correct.
And putting that on.
yeah, they're gonna look more
Yeah,
like this,
right.
less the block. Is that block gonna be on there?
No.
Okay, so it's gonna, see
No,
the
I get
skid
it.
down there?
Yeah, but
Okay.
what your question was
This is,
it's 10 by 9, but he said that they were 2
Mhm.
together. So if there's 2 together, do they separate them when they haul them off?
I think you had on another slide, it showed 2 of them side by side, right? And then they're divided down the middle, I think.
Yeah, but do they separate
Like
them when
bottom
they
left there?
transport?
No, I think it's one building on the bottom left, the floor plan, and those are 2.
yeah, what that floor plan depicts is not concurrent with what the picture
Right,
is.
exactly,
Yeah.
but it's,
But what we're saying is the one on the left does not fit on a flatbed. They would have to be separated to do that.
Correct, if they were attached.
If they were attached.
Correct.
Mhm.
But you said there were two together,
They're gonna be sitting next to each other.
just
the
sitting next to
design.
each other, okay.
So I think the design intent was to make them look more substantial, so they don't look like a bunch of prefab. So you kind of butt them up against one another, but then you can separate them to lift them in an emergency.
Okay.
If all goes well, what's your timeframe?
They start getting delivered beginning of January, end of December as the delivery date.
and is there any plumbing or just electrical?
Just electric, no water. And there'll be communication lines.
What happened last year during the storm to the kiosks?
We didn't have them. The individual tenants had their own kiosks on there. Some of them, I think a couple of them moved them out. Some of them weren't affected and others were total loss.
So previously they were private kiosk, and now these are going to be city-owned?
Correct.
Does the city get rent for these, or?
Yes, they will.
Okay. And it has a package AC unit on the top?
Correct.
Okay, any more questions?
Chair, if
Yeah.
I may. Just a few basic questions, so no objections or concerns from the city's building official?
No, the intent of the flood ordinances and the flood codes is to minimize the damage to any kind of structure or property. And as these won't be there in any flood event, that intent is met. So there is no objection from the office building official.
I heard you mention earlier, but just to confirm, no objections or concern from the city's floodplain manager as well?
Yes, and he is here, and we can hear from him to reassure that.
And then one last question, no effects to the city's CRS for this at all? CRS scoring?
Gene can also talk about that. Gene Henry is our floodplain administrator, who is stepping to the podium right now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Gene Henry, Planning and Development. Kevin, Floodplain Administrator. So to answer your, I'll start with the CRS question first. It's not going to affect the CRS. It's not going to affect our CRS program. You know, the Flood Board has issued, you know, several variances, and each time there has not been a condition or a precedent set. With this particular situation, we did go to the state, we did ask for their information, and they obviously are not going to send any approval, disapproval, or anything of that sort. They did send us information. They said, you know, you have an instrument. The other good thing about it, and just as Kevin was identifying, these are not structures that are permanently there. The connections are quick connects, and everything that goes into them is meeting the National Flood Insurance Program, but more importantly, it's meeting our Chapter 51 of the Community Development Code, which is your floodplain management ordinance. And so everything's being met as far as the electrical and all the connections. The structures themselves don't officially fit, you know, with the code. That's one of the reasons why we're before you. And it's not asking for any special privileges. It's just asking for a variance against one section of Chapter 47, not 51. And that allows us to, you know, have something below the base flood elevation. And again, it's not fixed, it's not permanent, and none of the codes actually fit. So this variance allows us to move these temporary structures into place and not have to move them out, for instance, every 180 days and those sorts of things. We will report this to the state, and it'll go up, just as we do with all the variance requests and approvals or denials, which have been brought before you. This will be the third one the last year. So hopefully I answered your question. So it's not affecting, because we aren't setting a precedent as we understand. And again, the state would let us know. We do go through an audit Your CRS coordinator, Sarah Kessler, she'll be coming up with a cycle visit within the next year to 18 months. Before that, more than likely, the state will come in and review all our files. But again, this will be in their hands for review, and we've already discussed it with them. If there is something, we will be given, if there was something that popped up, we would be given the opportunity to mitigate or come up with a resolution to meet their requirements. And we would obviously do that, of course. And again, by having the variance, it's not providing something that someone else can't do. It's going to go into the emergency plan within the city. It is a function of the city now, it won't, if you approve this ordinance. So is there any other questions that I can provide?
I have a
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
So, something happens where you say these are quick connect and all of that kind of stuff, but some kind of event happens, like the no-name storm that we had back in the 90s, and we can't, you can't judge in time to get these out of the way. What kind of wind force do they withstand, or are those quick connects strong enough
From
to
the design.
handle something like that?
So, yeah, good question. From the design, yes, from what I understand, and if you remember, the original ones that were brought in here were going to be hard fixed buildings right into the, the seawall there and such. And then the state was, their comments back to us is to dry flood proof those. But you are within the windborne debris area, so everything that goes in there is going to meet ASE E7, which is your wind, and it's also, if it had to, the 1% probability flood event is, so it's going to meet, as I understand the design professional is designing those, not only meet the wind, because that is part of it, but also nuisance flooding and such as well. So that does, and I do remember the no-name storms.
Nor
Yeah,
do
there
I
was no
ever.
time to plan for that whatsoever. I remember folks in the bay saying they just saw white stuff coming across, and all of a sudden they realized it was the bay coming into their home.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it does. It's going to meet those standards. The only standard it's not going to meet, and it's not because, and it's not a fixed structure, so it's not really, it's one of those areas that falls between. That's why we're before you. But it's the only standard it's not going to meet is being at the design flood elevation. So.
Do these require tie downs while they're in place?
Yeah, as I understand, yes. I mean, as I understand, the
Like a
design
shed or
is going to
anything else.
completely, I mean, they're tight, they're down, they're affixed, they're going to withstand the wind, because that is a windborne debris area.
And that's two more
And that
questions.
would be the only way we could approve it, and when it comes through for a permit,
Building
that it
code
meets
wise,
all the
yeah.
wind loading and the tie downs.
And it's a question for Public Works, and it was briefly touched on, but just, and we don't know where Public Works staff-wise will be next hurricane season, but as of now, Public Works feels comfortable staff-wise that they have the staff to remove these that wouldn't interfere with more important tasks like generators, the lift stations, or anything else during that time.
That'll be on our department, Marine and Aviation, and yeah, we have the staff that will be able to relocate these.
Okay.
And we're also looking at going out and getting a contract to have somebody on standby. We have the ability to do that in-house, but it would be easier if we had a contractor that's dedicated. It would just be a lot smoother and quicker process by doing that.
So you think about using a contractor possibly?
Yes, in the future, absolutely.
Get somebody with a low boy, you can put multiples on the
Just keep in mind, a lot of those emergency contractors, when the time does come, that they go where the most money is as well, right? So if there's a city paying them more, they usually will put you on the back burner, so just.
Absolutely, that's why you do that up front, so you get all those contracts in place before a storm event, correct?
And I believe the county has an interlocal right now they're working on related to that.
In mind.
Yeah.
And from a public works standpoint, we could easily go grab them also, so.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it doesn't interfere with
One
generators,
might
lift
go.
stations, more vital things. And what's the life expectancy of these structures?
20 years, right? Yeah, off the top of my head, I think it was 20 years, but I can always get that
20-year
information back to
depreciation
you.
on
But
They're
yeah.
all, according to the website, they're all built with aluminum.
And last question, a little bit beyond the scope of what we're here to approve today, but it was, has the city determined a break-even point for the cost of them versus what the rent would be from the tenants?
Yeah, we've been working on that number, and we have a couple different situations. We'll get the city management approval We've been working through that with our controller through our department, but there is a break-even point that we will meet, absolutely.
Thank you. That's all I'm gonna check.
Any other questions?
I think I had one,
Okay.
just to clarify, I guess, the location of where they're gonna be relocated to. So there are a couple that were mentioned in the documents. And I guess just understanding the selection and how they'd be secured there, maybe you just elaborate on that a little bit.
Sure, absolutely. So, you know, we have the downtown parking garage. In the future, we're looking at building a beach marina parking garage. Those are perfect locations to store that. They're out of the wind, they're out of the rain, they're out of the flood. And there's also the Clearwater Executive Airport that will take these to. A lot of the tenants take their planes. We store a lot of our equipment during storms in those hangars.
Got it.
So those tenants, they leave with their planes, we'll put those kiosks in those empty hangars.
So is your break-even point projection before the 20 years?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
And we have to replace them?
Yeah. I don't have that information in front of me, but I want to say it's 120 months is one of the things that we'll have proposed.
Who's required to maintain them?
They will maintain them, be like a triple net, so.
Any other questions? Okay.
My apologies. This is the minimum request for variance for the flood damage control, you know, either Chapter 47 or 51. So I just want to reiterate, it is the minimum, and thank you.
Thank you.
Do anyone from the public have a comment? Seeing none, move on. Any other discussion? Someone want to make a motion?
Let me suggest to you that y'all use the motion for variances from standard technical codes that you'll find in your packet, as opposed to the other motions. This is a deviation from a standard technical code, so I think it's in section 2 of the proposed motions that you have in front of you. And the case is number BAA 2025-09004.
What section? Can you
Right here. I think this is it, section 2, variance from standard technical codes.
Yeah, first page at the bottom.
First page, bottom.
Okay. Someone want to make the motion?
Sure. With regard to the request for a variance from the standard technical codes in case number BAA 2025-09004, granted as requested, I move to find action on the request to be within the board's authority and to find the criteria set forth in Code Ordinance Section 47.0352 are met, and to grant the request based on the evidence and testimony presented in the application, the staff report, and today's hearing.
Do I hear a second?
Thank you.
Second?
Yep, speak right up into the microphone.
Yeah, I second it.
Right,
Take a vote.
please.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
Any opposed?
Seeing none?
None?
All right,
Unanimously passes?
sorry,
Unanimously passes.
it is approved. You can move on. I think you typically take director's items if there are any. I don't
Thank you.
know that there are any today.
Any other business?
I would like to introduce your new contact person. You've been all coordinating with Vicky, and Vicky is moving to a different position. And so she is being replaced by Alba. So if you can welcome Alba, and we thank Vicky for her years of help and coordination here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Nice to meet you.
Also like to welcome our 2 new board members. Thank you all for your service, and look forward to seeing you at other meetings. We don't meet that often, so it shouldn't be a big chore to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is 2 this year. Three?
Three. Yeah.
Three this
That's a
year.
record.
Been a busy, busy year.
And a full board.
That's right, yeah.
Any other business? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Have a motion and a second, so the meeting is adjourned?
Sure.